I don't think there's anything hornier than a gay man. Like, I don't think there is. Because, bro.
Speaking of stinky places, New York. How was that, Ethan?
Yeah.
New York was good for the weekend, man. I went to go see family, spend Easter with them. I got to be a fashion model in NYC.
I know. I saw the Instagram pic.
With Ace and Jerrod, man.
Hey, shout out Ace and Jerrod. How are they?
Oh, the guys are doing good. They're gonna come on a pod soon. So, because I need them to see, like, they keep saying I'm in the bottom of the can't dress or the who can dress in the chat rankings, and I'm here to defend myself. I really think I'm top 2, and I'm not 2. I really think people don't want to admit it, but like I've really changed their perception. This ain't the same Ethan from freshman year. Like, it's really not. It's really not.
Ethan, I'll give you credit where credit's due. I definitely think you are in the upper tier of our friends in terms of your style, in my opinion. I can't give you that number 1 spot.
Sorry. To each his own. You're wrong, but to each his own.
I'll give you your props. I'll give you your respect, man. For sure. You're top tier. You're in that conversation. You're like a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow.
Like, bro, they were in the chat, like, I think it was Sunday night, ranking everything. Like, they were just in the mood to rank everything. And it was a lot. It was a lot to take in, for sure. But how you boys doing?
Hey, shit, bro. I mean, we're surviving. This NFL offseason. I was just about to ask you, what was the guy's reaction to Stephon Diggs? I wasn't in the chat when the Texans got Stephon Diggs.
They were like, I told you so, because the guys, especially the Houston Texans fans in the chat, like Fern and Vic, they've been doing a lot of them all free agency. They've been doing like shots in the dark of who they think is going to join the Texans and all this stuff. But to see them actually get one right with Stephon Diggs made me so annoyed, so annoyed. But I mean, they basically gave up nothing for him. It's a 1-year rental.
Yeah, see, I actually kind of feel like, I don't know. I feel like it was a pretty good deal on both ends. But like the fact that the Bills were able to get a second out of Diggs is actually super impressive to me. He's aging. He had a horrible stretch of games. I wouldn't have paid not a cent more for Diggs. Like, that is the absolute max I would have paid.
But the funny bit about that is that, like, just the idea of, like, what if he doesn't pan out? Like, let's say he doesn't pan out, right? And then next year they have to get rid of him off his contract. They're going to get a compensatory pick from it. So they're probably going to get that second-round pick back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's not a big thing. And for me, I think it's less of a risk for the Texans. Like, you give up a second-round pick, you get Stephon Diggs, who I think you already know is, like, you know what he can do. And like Ethan said, it's a 1-year rental. If he's not the same player this year for whatever reason, whether that's injuries or production, with having 2 other very good receivers on the team, they can just cut their losses and say, man, all we gave up was the second-round pick. Meanwhile, I look at Buffalo's situation, and I'm like, man, Josh Allen is fucked. What kind of weapons does he have? Because the only thing they've done this offseason was got Curtis Samuel, and I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, but if anything, like how stacked this like wide receiver draft class is, getting rid of Stephon Diggs this year is maybe not the worst idea, because the team performed better like without him towards the end of the year. But I think that had a lot to do with just taking the ball out of Josh Allen's hand. But I mean, if there's any year to replace him, it's this year. Like, you look how stacked the receiving class is.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure we'll do like an episode where we talk about the draft at some point, because there's some really exciting players on both sides of the ball that I know me and Dylan as Packers and Patriots fans, we have heavy investment in the draft. And Ethan, I think the draft is the only thing you've been looking forward to this offseason, considering your team hasn't done shit.
No, my team is. What do you mean the Chiefs got Hollywood Brown? Like, I don't get this whole.
Now he's
my
the
team
Chief.
having that. my team hasn't done nothing.
Woo this man. All right, and if you're listening to this right now, you're listening to the Art Recording Podcast, and we are booing the young Rottweiler, the 5'5" of pure temptation. It's Mr. Ethan Hamilton.
Hey, Dill, throw some money at me while I do this. Hey.
He's back from New York with some swagger. We're back with another episode. I'm Gage Sutton, 007, and today, me and Ethan are joined by my brother, Texas State student, Mr. Dylan Sutton. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me back. I was taking a hiatus. They fired me, told me to work on myself and
work on myself. I hate you.
They let me back on the pod, guys. This might be my last chance, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how you do, because as the seasons have progressed to this show, I feel like we've kind of grown, and things have just become more intellectual. Me and Ethan have become more thoughtful, about what we talk about on the show. You know what I mean, E?
Yeah, for sure. I don't believe you, but sure, this is what we're going with. Then cool. I'm with you. Fuck it.
I'm just too immature to understand.
Yeah, you're not on our level. You're not on that level with us.
I'm working on it, guys. I promise.
Sick ass. But we have a dope episode for you guys lined up today. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can see us upload anytime, anywhere, and stay up to date with any art recording content. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, and rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those ratings, those comments really keeps the channel growing, puts us on more people's feeds, and we really appreciate y'all guys' input too.
Yeah, and comment. Like I said, comment on like Ethan said, comment on the YouTube videos, comment on the Instagram. Let us know what y'all think, even if it's just a little emoji, something.
Yeah, we really appreciate you. But I think the best way to start off.
Then hold on, wait, I have a good segue.
Okay, let's hear the segue for this first topic.
I hate to do that at the beginning of the show because it's like, man, I always feel like we're asking someone for something. You know what I mean? Like asking for that, like, hey, that validation of, hey, give us that follow, give us that. You want to see more of our content, right? That kind of validation is the kind of validation that you would get when you have a crush, right?
Oh, this isn't one of your best ones. Like I've seen you do better ones. All
right. Someone else fucking do it then.
Well, what I was gonna say is that, like, what are the 3 worst words that every guy doesn't want to hear? That you go to sleep at night and you have like cold shivers. You're scared. You know the 3 words. What are we? What are we? The 3 worst words in the English language, and unfortunately, we saw the effect.
No head.
Huh? No head? No, the what are we is worse than no head. The what are we is worse than no head. But unfortunately, we saw that this past week on Jerrod Carmichael's new show on HBO Max, where he confessed his love, his crush to Tyler, the Creator. And for those who don't know, Jerrod Carmichael is a comedian, right? He came out as, I want to say, gay last year on his the year before on his comedy special, and pretty funny comedian. I like his comedy and his specials, but he's friends with Tyler, the Creator. And in this episode of his new reality TV show, or I don't know the best way to describe it, it's just really awkward behind the scenes TV show. He asked Tyler, the Creator. What, like, can he come with him to the Emmys? Jerrod Carmichael asked Tyler, the Creator, to come to the Emmys with him. And instead of Tyler answering like a normal human being, he decided to say, he said, haha. He said, I'm busy. Haha, you stupid bitch. Like, and I felt like that was Tyler's way of just being nice when it comes to dubbing him and saying no thank you.
Man, dude, I want to talk about the show first because I feel like the Tyler part is like where I think we'll probably.
And there's more to this. There's more to this like story already, and so like we're gonna get there. But like this first bit when he texts Tyler like, oh, like, hey, can you be my date to the Emmys?
Crazy, yeah. So I mean, that's the whole like setup for the episode, and I just want to hear my thoughts on the episode because Ethan, you recommended me to watch this, and I had no idea that this had even come out, that this was a thing. Oh, I'm so glad you recommended it because
it was so awkward. It was so awkward, like toes curling.
Because you told me it was reality TV, and I was like, okay, that's so weird. What, like reality TV? Like, what am I expecting here? Because when I think reality TV, I think like very over the top, very like dramatic, and this was all of that, but actually real, like real. This is actually reality TV.
The camera shouldn't have been there. Like it just seems like a conversation took place that the camera should not have seen at all.
Oh, like it felt like something my eyes shouldn't have been seeing.
Yeah, especially because like I don't know, part of me like doesn't even feel bad for Jerrod Carmichael because like you're putting a camera in front of Tyler the Creator.
We ain't got there yet. This is just I'm just talking about the text message because there was months between Tyler actually responding and Jerrod like sending that message. And keep in mind, during that like whole break, he's fucking every white man in the city of Los Angeles. Like they're coming in and out of his apartments. Like I never like maybe this is a stereotype, maybe it is not, but I'm standing 10 toes down on this. I don't think there's anything hornier than a gay man. Like I don't think there is because bro, think about it. They just going and they're so nice about it. Like they doing this, they having this casual sex and then they're making each other breakfast, like giving them like kisses behind the ear, and then they're gone. Bro, like it's nuts. I've never seen this. I've never seen this. And the whole time he's waiting for Tyler to text him back as he's fucking all these guys. Like, bro, this is some sick nigga shit. This is some sicko shit.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, because I mean, this is the second time, right, that he like confessed his love.
No, this is well, that's you talking about like in the episode because it was two times.
Yeah, Jerrod says that the first time he did it, Tyler responded, you stupid bitch, and just like kind of like
he dubbed him. He not in a nice way. Like we've all done it. Like where a girl has like that you a friend may like. I think we've all done it. Like where like a friend maybe ask you out in that sort of way and you don't really see them. So you try to let them off the nice way. I think that's what Tyler was trying to do. But the second time when when Tyler finally texts back and him being like, well, I want to meet up and like basically have the what are we conversation, right? And Tyler doesn't know that there's going to be a whole camera crew there. Like at least if he does, then he acted this like brilliantly. But like
I feel like he handled it pretty well at first, but then like as they got further and further into the conversation, like Tyler just started going more and more off the rails. Like he was just like, oh, like he ate the food and then he was like, I gotta go fart.
That's the craziest thing. You see Tyler like trying to cope and like let him down easy because Jerrod is genuinely like confessing that like, hey, like, because we've all done that before. Like we've all had it done to us and we've all done it to a friend where like maybe when we were younger, like in high school, like you're friends with a girl and you really like her. And you start out being friends and you end up really liking her and you're trying to find out a way to like tell her like that you like her and you want to advance like the friendship into a different like stage. But her having to let you down and you having to let someone else down, we've all been in that situation. And seeing that like as a third person, it was so awkward. Like Jerrod's like pouring his heart out to Tyler and Tyler's just like, yeah, sorry, man, I'm not attracted to you whatsoever.
I think the thing about it that made it such a like impactful thing for me is that it really did feel so genuine. Like even though the cameras were there, it wasn't like Tyler had no idea that the cameras are going to be there, and like I don't know, Jerrod just did a good job of like him thinking the cameras aren't there. I'm just gonna live my life. I'm just gonna like text Tyler, let him know how I feel. And that's how you feel with a girl sometimes. You're just like, man, I'm just going to pull that trigger, see how it goes. And that's, now imagine a camera crew and everyone watching. Dude, how do you feel if you're Tyler in this situation?
like you try not to be an asshole because it seems like he's actually like genuinely friends with Jerrod. Like he calls him his brother. Like they're really close. But like to have that conversation of like, man, I'm just not into you. Like, and then him eating the salmon and like eating it with his hands afterwards and offering to Jerrod. It was so awkward. Like,
I think what like makes it, I don't know if it makes it like funnier or like harder to watch. Just thinking about like Igor with like everything. Obviously, Tyler is talking about on the album Igor, and then he has clips of Jerrod Carmichael talking in the album, and it's like Jerrod Carmichael is like basically helping Tyler confess his love to somebody else. It's like, oh my God.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. Jerrod is on the album.
Yes.
Oh, that's like, even more awkward.
Like Tyler and Jerrod were probably like having like a one-on-one conversation, and Tyler was like, "This is good. Let me record this so I can make it about this guy that's not you."
Well, Jerrod, and my thing is like, all right, we're being now we're getting this speculatory rain, right? I'm having my fantasy in my head, not fantasy about those two. Let me clear it up. let me clear it up. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. But like, if you're like, I'm thinking, putting my mindset like Jerrod doesn't have that. He doesn't have the courage to do that unless something happened between him and Tyler in the past that made him be like, well, I think I have a shot. I don't think he just woke up one day and was like, yeah, I like Tyler and I really want to tell him today. Something happened for him to be like, maybe I have a chance like with Tyler. Because that always happens. Like maybe like you get drunk with like we've all made out with female friends that we probably shouldn't have made out with.
Okay, wait, pause. You've said multiple times so far, we've all blank. I need you to stop.
Well, that's never happened. Like, okay, so that's never happened to y'all. Have y'all never confessed your love to a friend that wasn't your friend?
Well, no, that you went to? Has, but I've never like drunk.
So you never made out with a friend?
No.
Okay, well, I had one time, and it was really awkward.
This is going back to me just being too immature to be on the podcast. You know, I just don't get it.
No, I'm with you. I should have clarified. So talk about the first time that like, or a memorable, every time more than once. God bless you. But you guys talk about like a time where like you maybe went out on a ledge to a friend and it worked or it didn't work. Like just being like, hey, like we've been friends for a long time. Because I feel like stuff like that doesn't work because it's just like. That person just only sees you as a friend.
You got something? Yeah.
We all do. Let's not hold the cards deep in our heart. We don't have to do names. Yeah. We don't have to do names. We don't have to do names because I don't want any phone calls after this. Y'all don't want any. Y'all don't want any phone calls after this. I don't want any phone calls after this.
Like, so I won't take it any further than this. I'm not gonna say names. I won't get into specifics, but basically. This Jerrod Carmichael thing, man, it really did affect me because just seeing it from both sides. Because like we've been talking about, you've seen it from both sides, but seeing it from Jerrod's point of view too, of like he's the one being rejected, and me being in that position multiple times in my life, it's so like it's depressing. Like you confess your love to someone, and they're just like, cool, like You're a cool person, but
I don't see that. Right?
And dude, that's like it's so soul shattering because like Jerrod is a good guy. Like he's gonna find someone cool, but like it's different, especially because like we know who Tyler is, and we're like we see all the reasons why he would want to be with Tyler. Like, but at the same time, I don't know.
Like, what are the reasons you don't want to be with Tyler?
I was saying from a rich point of view. What?
Is this something you want to tell us?
You're like, I can see why you want to get with Tyler, man.
Okay.
I get it. I get it. That's a good looking fella.
I was like, are you trying to confess something right now?
I'm saying, guys, I'm not the grinder guys he was fucking. Because that was a big part of the thing. He was like confused about like whether he wanted Tyler or he wanted these other people. Tyler was the person that he was talking about even when he was fucking these other guys. Mm-hmm. So it just like I compared.
I
compared it like to a girl that like you might have something with other people, but there's that one girl that just like kind of stands out amongst the rest. You know?
No, I'm with you. I had that situation. Since you don't want to tell the story, I'll tell the story here. I'll tell the story here. So I had this girl that I had a crush on in middle school, right? I had a really, really big crush on her. And me and her were really good friends. And I always, like, the entire year, I always got the battery in my back. Like, oh, Ethan, you should ask out such and such. Oh, Ethan, you should ask out such and such. One day, and every single time, it's like, nah, we just cool. We sat in the same seat next to each other on the bus, always laughing, kikied. She was one of the only people in middle school, because I didn't have the greatest experience in middle school, that was like, oh, Ethan, like, actually friends with, bro. She was that shit. What could have been? No, I'm like, bro, I had that situation happen. Where I got the battery in my back.
You got done,
bro, in front of everybody in the hallway. This is what happened in the hallway between passing periods. The battery's in my back. This is one of the first lessons if I'm ever gonna ask out a girl, never tell other people you're gonna do it. Just do it. But I was like, oh yeah, I got it. Cash money. Like, I literally was like, oh yeah, next period I'm gonna do it. And I guess word got around town that I was gonna ask her out. So bro, I walk out to go find her. Keep in mind, everybody in my class is following me to go ask her. Like, watch me go ask her out. And like, when I saw her, I knew the vibe was off. And a part of me is like, this ain't going well. But fuck it. I got like 30 people behind me. I gotta do it. Like, I got no choice but to do it. I asked her out. She said, sorry, I don't like you. And everybody's like, oh, like that, like, and I remember, like, my heart, like, to the fucking floor. I tried to play it off. I was like, oh, it's cool. Da, 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 da. We were never the same afterwards. Never spoke to Shorty after middle school, high school. I saw her a couple times and it was cool. She looks fantastic, by the way. Ooh, God cooked with that one. Cooked with that one. But I was just like,
with you stupid bitch.
No. No, unfortunately, he didn't get me back for that one. I'm still waiting on that one. But
that's crazy.
But we've all had a story like, oh, and we've had it done to like you by like a female friend coming up to you, be like, oh, I like you, and you just not seeing them to see, like, you like them like as a person, like, oh yeah, we get along cool, but like for whatever reason it is, like, you don't want to risk the friendship, or you're just plain off just not attracted to them.
Yeah, Ethan, I gotta give you props for a sec, because you sharing that story is very impressive.
Yeah, like, Batman could not beat that story.
I couldn't get that story. No, the thing is, I have worse ones. That was not the worst one. I've had worse ones. So that one.
That's funny because, like, you know, Ethan, you are a very good sport about that stuff, and you're kind of like, you know, whatever, bro. I think about it from Jerrod Carmichael's point of view, where it's like, not only are all these people watching on HBO Max, but all the camera people who are in the room, Tyler, like, and just that environment and everything that falls out afterwards. I can only imagine how he's feeling. Like,
I think that's a valuable lesson for people who have crushes, like adult crushes. Don't ever share them. Like, no. Adult crushes are cool, like, but they will never work out. It is just like a fad. Like, it really is. Your life is in a storybook. Like, just because you've been friends with Shorty for this is my message to the audience. So, audience, come here. If you're listening, listen close. You're friends with Shorty. It's been 2-3 years. Finally, you guys are actually, like, you're getting really, really close. Like, they're inviting to your house. You guys are basically having dates, but not having dates. And you're starting to have feelings for that person. They're not real. Don't express it. It's only because you guys hang out with each other so much that you can see and y'all get along. Because I'm telling you, it will never work. Never in the history of life will they both people be like, yeah, I like it. Let's give it a shot. Especially if you've been friends like for that long, like a year, 2 years. Don't ever do it. Crushes like that will never work out.
So you're saying like friend crushes? Like, you're saying
friend crushes, don't ever express them. Don't ever express them.
Yeah, we really
you can get worked on when we go to the club by them. You can suck face even a couple of times with them, but don't ever try to cross that like, what are we conversation. It will never work.
I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from, but like,
Gage, it will never work. It will never work. Let's be realistic here. It never works. Let's be realistic here.
Okay, what do you guys think of this? What do you think of your friends dating your sisters / any of that shit?
Are you talking about your friends dating like a family member?
Yeah, like your cousin, like Travis dating your cousin.
Okay, see,
Bad example.
see, that's the bad because we've been doing so good not mentioning his name because now he's gonna watch this and I'm gonna get a text. You guys can't keep my name out your fucking mouth. But hypothetically speaking, I don't have any sisters.
Yeah.
But if I did have a sister, if I had a cousin, I wouldn't have any. Like sister's weird. Like sister's weird because it depends. It really depends. Like how long we've known each other. And how long have you known them? Like, have you never like met my sister? Like, if we've always hung out and you've never met my sister, right? You're not gonna like ask her out. Like, I guess I'd be more open to it. Like, if you just met her and you're just like, oh.
I've got a better example, Ethan. So what if you wanted to talk to Travis's sister?
In this world, I'm not talking his imaginary sister. Let's clarify this.
Yeah.
If I went, let's take it off Travis. I feel this is how I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm gonna get in trouble. Let's say I was talking to one of y'all's sisters, right? Let's say I'm talking to one of y'all. Let's say I'm talking.
No.
Let's say I'm talking to one of y'all's sisters, right?
Right now, I won't believe
That's it.
No, but I'm saying like if I was talking, if I was talking to one of y'all's sisters, how would you guys approach it? Like if I'll give you two situations, right? First scenario.
It's a
we just okay. I didn't even give the situation. You guys are saying no. Okay, the first situation, like, be honest here. We've known each other. Like, this is fresh. Us knowing each other. Me first coming to your house. Like, I come to your house 2 or 3 times. Like, it's obvious me and your sister like having a. And I'm not saying I'm doing nothing crazy with your sister, but me and your sister are talking, and I come up to you man to man before I even come up to her or ask for Instagram or nothing. I come up to you man to man. It's like, oh, bro, it's like your sister got a man, and you're like, nah. I'm like, oh, well, it's cool if I like ask for Instagram or something like that.
Well, no, because the way I see it is because then that makes the friendship difficult. Because imagine if you and me are still friends and you're dating my sister or something, and then y'all break up.
Yeah.
That causes a lot of friction in our relationship and y'all's relationship. So I'm just like, I'd rather just not get involved.
You'd rather me just hide it. I hear you.
Do I have some friends whose sisters are super hot? Absolutely. Do I have some friends whose moms are super hot? Absolutely. But you can't get involved in those situations. It's just not worth it. It's too messy.
Yeah, see, for me, I feel like it's not even so much about like.
Is it for you? Is it not to step on what you're saying? Like, is it like a complete no for both of y'all? Like, if one of your friends asks to like talk to one of your sisters, not me specifically, but like, or does it matter the approach?
That's what I was gonna say. Is for the situation I'm like the life I'm living right now, it's just a no automatically. Not even because I'm like overprotective of my sisters or whatever. Like they're their own people, they can do their own shit. All of my friends are scumbags, every single one of them. And to all of you watching this, I don't trust you so much as within 5 feet of my sister. Stay the fuck away, man. Yeah. So not one of my friends do I trust enough. Maybe down the line. Maybe down the line I'll get some trustworthy friends, but as of right now, not with my life, man.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. For me, it depends. Like if it's a cousin, I guess I'm not mad at it if you come to me before you come to my cousin. And it's like,
I guess
hey, like,
because me and Dylan would probably.
I don't have sisters, so I don't know.
What I was gonna say is me and Dylan would probably feel different if we didn't have sisters, and we probably would feel different if we didn't. Yeah, we didn't have stepsisters because we didn't have sisters growing up. It wasn't until they entered our lives later, and I guess that kind of changed the perspective, and now we're like, no.
I got you. Well, hey, shout out Jerrod. You'll find a cool white guy in LA that likes you. I mean, you found a bunch of them in that whole week, so you'll find one. Because damn, that was rough to watch. But it was good TV. Like it was good TV, but damn, it was like a car crash. You couldn't take your eyes away from it.
No, literally. I wonder. Like I think about like the Tyler Jerrod thing, and I'm like, I wonder what other like celebrity relationships are kind of brewing like that. that we don't you don't really know about. You know, like people who are just friends, but under the scenes, behind the scenes, behind the curtain.
I got you.
I mean, I don't know if this is like it's definitely nothing like confirmed, but like multiple members of One Direction have definitely explored each other's bodies, like that.
Is that like your like cock sources theory?
I don't think it's much of a theory at this point. Like,
why do you say that?
Well, because they're like multiple like what are they called, like fan fictions of like I'm pretty sure like Larry is one of them. It's like Louis and Harry. And there's like whole fan fictions about how like they fingered each other before shows or whatever.
I forgot that you're like our One Direction like fan fiction inside. Yeah. No, it's like I'm with you. I feel like a lot of the situations happen a lot more. And honestly, please don't ever record him. Like, please don't. If you're a celebrity, don't ever record that shit.
Please.
It was good TV, but like we should have never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
We should have never seen that. But I think on to the next topic that we've got today. I really wanted to talk about, like, we got Dylan here, like our NCAA women's college basketball insider. So, bro, I never thought I'd see the day where women's college hoops would be at the top of what everybody cares about when it comes to sports. Like, bro, Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, Paige Beckers, South Carolina, like, dog, it was LSU, like, this whole weekend of women's hoops was awesome. I was glued to my TV.
It was, man. I mean, those matchups with LSU versus what's it called? Versus Clark, it doesn't even matter what the team is.
Iowa.
With that day was just great. It was just great basketball, and I remember I think the Pacers were playing at the same time. An NBA or Bleacher Report posted something about how Halliburton had like 14 points in the first quarter, and he was going crazy. And then everyone in the comments was like, "Don't care, we're watching LSU versus Iowa." I'm like, "Oh my god, man, this is amazing. This is evolution." Because it always used to be like, if somehow if Bleacher Report posted like a WNBA clip, everybody was like, "Don't care, we're watching literally anything else on this planet." You know? And now it's like, yeah, dude, like instead of watching the Pacers, who have been great, Tyrese Halliburton is an all-star, he's super fun to watch, we'd rather watch Caitlin Clark. She's changing the game before our eyes, and she's just leading the way of, like you said, so many different names that are doing great things for the sport, man. I love it.
Hey, honestly, we also have to give a big shout out to just them taking advantage of UIL too. I think that's a big part of the reason why Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reese has also been super big, getting her own promotions with LSU basketball and stuff. And it's awesome to see, because honestly, like, it was always the butt of the joke of like, oh, you're watching the WNBA. But now we're getting these stars from college who are going to go to the WNBA.
They're getting promoted correctly and everything like that.
It's like wrestling. It's like booking them. You got to get them like started. You got to get them some hype in college to get them into the WNBA. And now the WNBA's ratings are going to go way up now that you have Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all of these stars from college coming in. And it's just a cycle like that. These girls are inspiring other women to become as badass as these women are. So,
dude, I mean, I swear to God, like literally just walking around campus now, or like I went out to the square last weekend. I saw like at least 5 different people with like Caitlin Clark like T-shirts or jerseys or something like that. That's game changing. And tell you what, if we can get 1 million subscribers by tomorrow, I'll buy a Caitlin Clark jersey.
You're such an asshole.
I want the jersey, man. I just don't got money.
Yeah, I feel you. And honestly, like we talked
far high, but hey, if we hit it, I'll reach into the bank.
Yeah. Now, I definitely feel you on that. And honestly, the conversation, I guess we could take it another step forward. Like with Iowa beating LSU, we saw after the game the reactions. Even before the game, there was I don't know if it was Bleacher. No, it was USA Today. There was an article specifically about specifically about just the whole dynamics leading up to the LSU and Iowa game, and how like this is the good guys versus the villains and all this stuff. And it was basically laced with a bunch of microaggressions towards the LSU team. And even after the game, Angel Reese had I'm trying to be careful what I say here and not mince her words, but her just having an issue with how LSU, being predominantly a black female-led team, being painted in this light as villains and receiving these death threats, and how she's been affected mentally by the abuse she's had to deal with. And I just want to give a shout out to them, because I think in that aspect, they're 1,000% right. They shouldn't have been treated the way they are. They've definitely been villainized since last year. And I feel like there's definitely been a dynamic of Caitlin Clark and Iowa and the nice white girl that shoots like Steph Curry, and them kind of taking it to a whole different place with LSU in a very derogatory way. And it's kind of like a not catch 22. It's because like LSU and Angel Reese, they had that villain label put on them, right? But at the same time, they accepted it. Angel Reese is the same person that 2 days or like the game before was telling that player to, when they were doing the Lions huddle, like the Lions shake hands. I don't get why athletes do the shake hands in the line anyway, but her doing that and her telling the player to shut the hell up and go home. Like,
oh yeah,
when you say stuff like that, you play into. I'm not talking about the extremes and the out of pocket stuff they were saying about them. I'm talking about the whole villain image that LSU had. You play into it and you accept it, because they've been accepting it all year.
I mean, that's what like the best rivalries are about, honestly, of just having these two forces that are opposite. Like, I mean, because to some people, and you're gonna look at the other side, the same thing with like Magic Larry Bird too. Like, you had your villain and your hero, but they were different on both sides too. Because if you were on the West Coast, you were a Lakers fan, you've got Magic, he's the good guy. Larry Bird's the villain. And if you're a young black girl who's watching Angel Reese, you're like, man, she's my hero. She's the girl that I want to be just like. And you see Caitlin Clark, and you're like, her and Iowa, they're the ops. We need to beat them. We got to get past the Final Four. And it's that level of competitiveness that is also like making women's basketball so exciting. Like, can we just drop all of the political bullshit and just enjoy the basketball we're getting? This is entertaining shit from talented women.
Yeah, I'm with you, but it's a little tone deaf when people like Emmanuel Acho say that, like, even though, yes, Angel Reese is a person that talks a lot of shit, and you can't name another professional athlete that didn't talk a lot of shit and people weren't rooting against them. That comes with the territory. It is what it is. So I think we can't be naive to that, because she did talk a lot of shit and they lost. So she has to hold that. So whenever she goes to the press conference, from my perspective, I'm not going to speak for you two, but for me, and she starts, you see the tears on her face and her complaining about the cyberbullying and all that. I'm with her. I feel like it's definitely taken a little too far, but at a certain extent, it's like that time is not the place to do it. At least for me, and my perspective, you just lost. You kind of got to humble yourself or keep talking that cash money. Either way. But for you to cry, and I'm not saying it's bad to show emotion, but right then after the game, me personally, it comes off very sore loser-ish, and I'm not being dismissive towards what she's saying. Like, she's definitely had a lot of unfair hate wielded her way, but you didn't back up the talk. At the end of the day, you and LSU talk a lot of shit. You lost.
Yeah, I mean,
at that moment, right after the game, I don't want to hear about the cyberbullying. I really don't. I don't want to hear about all that other stuff, because you're absolutely right. You are getting cyberbullied. You guys are getting a lot of racial microaggressions towards y'all that Iowa isn't getting, right? But at the same time, you played into it. You were talking shit the same way all athletes do, and people want to see you get humbled. It's like, I see it very similar to as if Floyd fights, right? He decides he wants to have an actual pro fight next week, loses, is 50-1. And after he loses, he goes to the press conference and is like, damn, y'all really wanted me to lose because I was black, and it's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you talked a lot of fucking shit and you lost. That's really, I think, at the basis of everything in that specific game. But I do agree with her overall point of I feel like the abuse has to stop.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I saw that tweet too from Emmanuel Acho, or that segment on Twitter, and I saw it received a lot of backlash, and I think rightfully so. The important thing is like not being, like you said, tone deaf to all of the things that she's saying, and just also the situations of the sport, like you've talked about. Trash talking is part of the sport, but it also does come with that label. If you trash talk, you do dirty stuff on the court, you're going to get labeled a dirty player. You're going to get labeled.
Not saying she's a dirty player. Not saying she's a dirty player, but from the aspect of her talking shit and being a villain, I'm 100% with you.
Those are things that are associated with a dirty player. Yeah. I mean,
and we can't ignore the fact that like maybe it's been turned up an extra level a lot because they are black women. There are black women succeeding, and a lot of ignorant people in this world don't want to see that, and they're not used to seeing that. But I feel like it's careful to. We got to be careful with stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we should protect them, but at the same place, it's like if we want true equality between men's and women's sports, we can't coddle them at the same time. Like we should definitely protect them, but
and embrace them and help them grow and promote them. Because, I mean, hey, here's a good segue. Another thing that we can talk about is how wrestling has done women's wrestling so well. I was talking about it with Ethan yesterday. If you would have told me like 10 years ago that there would be 3 important women's matches on a WrestleMania card, I would have told you were fucking insane. I would have told you, dude, you're lying, bro. There's no way. But WWE has developed, has helped them grow into better performers, into a better product overall. And look what we're getting. It's fucking amazing. Like, I'm more excited for some of the women's matches than I am some of the men's matches.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, especially even just like black women too. Like we had a couple years ago, Sasha versus Bianca in the main event of WrestleMania. That's huge. Like that's huge for the sport. And of course,
and to extend it even further, this year at WrestleMania, you've got Jade Cargill making her debut in WWE with Bianca, Naomi, and then they're taking on 2 Japanese women. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
It is. Like, and of course, it's still going to come with like I see so much like hate for Bianca. I see so much hate for Bianca Belair, and I think she's a little overbooked for sure. But in terms of talent, she has earned every single thing she's been given. In my opinion, on the roster. She's ridiculous. She's ridiculous. I mean, just everything she does is phenomenal. So I'm and we still got a ways to go in terms of like I guess true equality because I mean it's a different conversation because we could just talk about like the structure of Mania because it's just so stacked, but so many amazing talented women got shafted off of this card. Liv Morgan didn't get anything. Tiffany Stratton, I know you were upset about that one. There's a way to go, but again, I mean that's sort of swaying into a different conversation about Mania just being so ridiculously stacked this year. I mean WrestleMania 40, 2 nights in Philadelphia, you got to go all out, and I'm so excited, man. I'm so gassed.
Me too. I like last year was like the first year I got back into wrestling, but this year this WrestleMania is going to be crazy. So I guess we can go quick. Not quickly, but I guess we can talk a little bit about y'all's prediction, especially with them. Not every single match at WrestleMania, but the big ones. I guess there's no other place to start, but with the Tribal Chief and the Final Boss. Plain and simple, do you guys think Cody's going to get to finish his story against The Rock and Roman Reigns?
Okay, so now we're asking 2 separate questions because first you said that we were talking about the Final Boss and our Tribal Chief Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on night 1. Because if that's the case, the booker in me says, I think it makes sense for the Bloodline to win. Make the match the next night, Bloodline rules. and just gives something a little more to like make the odds harder against Cody, so that when he actually wins, because that's what I think is going to happen, he's going to win on night 2. It's going to be awesome. He's going to overcome all of the odds. He's beat the fuck down on Raw this last Monday night.
Last Raw and SmackDown. Or was it last Raw before? He got the shit beat out of him by The Rock.
He's been getting the shit kicked out of him every week on TV by The Rock. So, you know, hopefully that's the story, the end of the story. But I have been seeing a lot of theories that are saying like, oh yeah, Damian's going to come out and hit Roman, hit Cody. Roman's gonna spear him, and then Roman's gonna win again.
Yeah, I would die laughing. I would die laughing if that happened.
So that's my thing. Is in the past I've been accused of being a contrarian by Mr. Hamilton.
And Mr. Sutton thinks you're a contrarian too. You always conveniently leave that apart, Gage. He always does it every time he brings you a contrarian.
You're the villain, man.
Everybody else thinks it, but it's Ethan Hamilton. Okay, cool, got you.
But I've always denied the allegations. If anything, I feel whatever. That's a different conversation. But on this one, I think I have become a bit of a contrarian because all year, Ethan, you know, we talked about it ad nauseum. I was bitching and moaning. I was like, no, but I was the Cody crybaby. Cody has to finish the story. It has to happen. But now, as we get closer and closer, it really just is. I'm thinking, man, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it just be so funny if Roman won again? Just because, like, I know so many real like Cody crybabies, people who will genuinely cry if Cody loses at Mania. And some just sick, twisted part of me
wants it to happen.
Wants to see it. I just want to see it.
No, literally, dude, we have a friend named Matt who is a huge Cody Rhodes fan, and I will literally pull my phone out and record her as Cody loses, and we hear Roman's music hit. Then we will get the best reaction in the world. I promise you.
But all that being said, I can only fuck around so much. Cody's gonna finish the story.
I agree with you. And this is how I think they do it. I think they lose night 1. Bloodline rules. I'm not on the side of Rock betrays Roman. I would think I would love that, but I got something even better.
Yeah.
I got something even better. So okay. Bloodline rules. Night 2, right? Seth loses. Drew McIntyre comes in night 1, loses the match for Cody and Seth. So Rock and Roman, the whole bloodline walk in against Cody. Maybe Seth and Jay are there. We'll see what happens. Cody's about to beat Roman. Here comes Jimmy. Stops Cody. Here comes Jay. Stops Jimmy. Right? Everybody. Now we get into shenanigans because there's going to be some shenanigans on night 2, without a shadow of a doubt.
And they're saying there might be a debut
bloodline
member too.
Maybe we see a new bloodline member. Not mad at that. But not in my theory. So Jimmy and Jay come down. They kind of cancel each other out, right? Next thing, we see Solo come out. He's going to do the same thing. What's it called? The spear? Whatever he does when he punched Cody in the Samoan Spike, where he punched Cody in the neck, like how Cody lost last year. He's going to do the same thing this year. This time, Seth is going to come out, stop the pin for Cody, cancel each other out. Not even Seth. Actually, change that. It's not Seth. You hear the trumpets come. The GOAT comes out. Never give up, never what? You guessed it. John fucking Cena comes out. He wants his revenge against Solo. He want to end that. If Solo beat him at the beginning of the year, he can't go out like this for the rest of the year on a Solo loss. On a Solo Sikoa loss, you think my GOAT going to go out like that? Never that.
I didn't even think about that. That actually would be a good reason.
Never that. But then, of course, Cena. Who's going to come out to stop Cena? The final boss. The chosen one. The people's champ. Foe turned friend. Cena and Rock face to face. Like, Rock's like, you doing this to me and my bloodline? They start duking it out. And it's hard to see Cena and Rock, but you can't look away. Then when all hope is lost, Rock and Roman got Cody right where he wants him. Who else but the Texas rattlesnake, the glass breaks, boosh, From who knows what, from his ranch. What?
From
Stone Cold.
Texas. What?
Motherfucking Steve Austin come out. We get WrestleMania 40. We get the two biggest to ever do it. 2 on the Mount Rushmore.
Roman
we get
Reigns.
actually three out of the 4 there. 3 out of the 4 Mount Rushmore. Cena, Stone Cold, Rock, face to face. Stone Cold hit.
Say Roman Reigns.
No, I'm not saying Stone Cold is gonna hit The Rock with the meanest stunner, and it's 03 again. Rock's gonna sell it. Cody's gonna hit the crossroads on Roman. 1, 2, 3. The story's gonna be finished.
And then Damian Priest's music hits.
No. So that's my hot take. We're gonna get the 3 biggest baby faces in the history of the company in one match.
I thought about because like everyone was speculating when Rock was like beating the hell out of Cody like outside. They showed like one of the tour buses or whatever.
It's Cena and Stone Cold.
And I was like, at first I was like, all right, people are reaching. But then I came to 2 conclusions. One, I watched the interview with CM Punk and Ariel Helwani. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. First off, awesome interview. Definitely recommend it. And CM Punk was talking about how like, yeah, WWE was like dropping hints that Punk was like going to come back before he came back. So everything they do is on purpose. And 2, I was thinking, I'm like, dude, y'all really think they're going to bring back Stone Cold and Cena? And then I realized it's WrestleMania 40. Like, this is a big deal. Like, you got to go all out. If you're not bringing, like, some sort of top talent back, like, I won't say it's a disappointment. I don't want to set up for, like, disappointment like we do every year with the Royal Rumble where, like, oh, my God, MJF is going to debut and Rock and Cena and all. It's only going to be legends. And we're always disappointed. But, shit, if there's any time to get our hopes up, man, it might be now.
It definitely is. It definitely is, and that's my big prediction. But as far as the Bloodline story, I'm not mad at that. Do you guys onto another match? Do you think?
Yeah, so Ethan, I was gonna ask you. So besides the Bloodline match, what match are you most excited for on both nights?
Well, I've been saying to y'all that AJ Styles is trash for how many months now. And my no, it's not a horrible take. You just saw it 3 weeks ago. How many more times you got to see the GOAT LA Knight do this shit to y'all? LA Knight showed up to his crib like he was 96, whooped his ass, got arrested. And what did he do the next week? Undercover as a referee ringside, whooped his ass again. And what's he going to do at Mania? No belt on the line, just belt to ass. What are you going to give to him? Wham. Like,
see, Ethan, you're making this too conflicting for me because Lord knows I am the leader of the LA Knight propaganda.
Not anymore.
I came on this podcast and I spent my agenda before anyone in this world knew who LA Knight was. I'm lying, but I was early on the LA Knight hype train. But you just have to go and disrespect AJ Styles, man. Maybe a top 5 wrestler of all time, man.
Cole just dropped.
What? Yeah, J. Cole just dropped his surprise album. I might delete this later. We'll talk about this next episode.
Yeah,
I want to listen to it.
We got derailed. That's fucking crazy. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, AJ Styles might be like a top 5 wrestler of all time, and you're dissing him because he has a soccer mom haircut. I hate you, man. But I will say, I was really worried that like LA Knight was just gonna get like a holdover beef just for Mania. And I guess this kind of is what that is. But him and AJ are cooking, man. The fact that AJ flew all the way to Australia just to fuck with LA Knight, love that. He had no reason to be there. Like, just a complete hater status just to be there to fuck with LA Knight. And then, in kayfabe, obviously they didn't actually do this, but in kayfabe, LA Knight was there in disguise at ringside for over an hour.
That's real wrestling. That's real wrestling.
That's real hating, bro. Like that is, and then showing up to his house too. Like, man, this is just levels of hatred that we haven't seen in a while. Cody doesn't hate the tribal chief as much as AJ and LA Knight hate each other, man.
Okay, but wait, Ethan. So I know you hate AJ Styles, but you have to acknowledge how good he is in ring. So is that why you're saying this is like the match you're most looking forward to?
Well, I'm just here to prove a point that LA Knights, AJ Styles about to get his ass whooped.
Okay, but I mean that's kind of what he's here for because like AJ's been around for a while. There's no championship on the line. There's nothing really for him here. I have a feeling he's gonna lose, and the LA Knight's gonna get put over. Look really good against AJ, but that's a big help from AJ. AJ, we know his track record, man. He puts on good matches with anybody. This is exactly what LA Knight needs to get some momentum heading out of WrestleMania into a United States Championship run because that's what I think is next for him after me, personally.
I'm not mad at that.
Dylan, what match are you most excited for? Would you say? Both nights.
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to say the tag team ladder match just because.
Me too.
I mean, not only like just because like the talent and everything, but it's like I feel like in history, ladder matches at Mania they've almost always been good. Like I'm sure we could go and find some stinkers, but I'm sure we'd find more good than bad.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want to go with that, but at the end of the day, I have to go with the one that is going to make or break my weekend. If Drew McIntyre doesn't beat Seth Rollins, if Drew McIntyre doesn't win the belt, like I would be more upset if Drew lost than if Cody lost. Like if Cody doesn't finish the story, I don't give a fuck, right? But Drew has to win. Drew has to win the belt, man. There's no other way to do it. And wait, and let me put this out there too. If he wins the belt and fucking bisexual Undertaker comes out and hits him with a fake ass choke slam to cash in his Money in the Bank, I'm losing it. And
I actually don't want to see. I've been arguing with Gage about this. I don't think Drew McIntyre wins. I really don't think he wins.
I think he does. And I think Dylan's right though. I think Damian cashes in on him right after too.
I'm not mad at that as long as I don't get to see Drew McIntyre win. But I do respect that level of hating. I really do. You're just not on my team, buddy.
I think Drew's gonna win. I'm pretty excited for that match, but I think like this is one of those things I told Ethan. Like the setup for me personally is it's perfect in the setup for Cody versus Seth, where Cody wins his belt, Seth loses his, Seth takes a break from the company for a little bit, and when Seth comes back, he can go after Cody and say, hey, I only lost my belt because I helped you in that match the night before. I was at a disadvantage against Drew McIntyre, and that's why I lost my belt, so I get first dibs at you.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it.
And then it also sets up for Drew can sort of do his thing for at least a couple months until Punk is cleared. And then Drew and Punk, oh man, they were cooking on the mic the other night, so I can only imagine what they do with the full feud. But man, I don't know, we were talking about it. Drew's been crazy lately. Like I don't get how anyone cannot think that Drew is ready to be a champ. And I know he's technically been a champ, but you know, obviously there's a reason he's fighting for this so hard. What did he tell Punk? He said the ironic thing about you is you don't drink, you don't smoke, but you spend all your time in rehab.
Damn.
It's a bar, bro.
Hey, but CM Punk clapped right back, and Drew was like, "Oh, I'm the chosen one." And CM Punk was like, "Who's chosen one? Say his name."
Yeah, who chose you?
Who chose you? Say his name. Yeah. The B word. I don't want to say his name on this channel.
I honestly, I really do. I'm excited for that match. I do think Drew's going to cost Seth and Cody in that two-man tag against The Rock and Roman, but I'm interested to see if Damian finally cashes in because we've had no indication that Damian's going to cash in for at least a solid 2-3 months. And it would be great if he did because he has to soon, or at least do a match for the cash in to give him more time. But I'm not mad at that. I also think it's going to relate back to his combo that he had with Paul Heyman a couple weeks ago. We saw in the background. Yeah. I think that's going to be something too. But I mean, those are really the really big matches. I know we didn't get to cover every single match, but those are the big matches we want to cover. Also, shout out to, like we said earlier, Naomi, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair,
Damage Control. Man, there's so many matches we didn't even get to talk about because the Sammy Gunter match is going to be great. Io versus Bailey is going to be a lot of fun. Rhea, Becky. Let's see, what else are we missing? I'm really excited for the Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos and Dom.
Don't get me started on the LWO, the lamest storyline on the whole roster. The whole roster.
Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul.
Maverick Gang. Oh, man, I didn't like saying that. But Logan Paul is going to retain for sure. I'm pretty confident in that.
That should be a fun match, too.
Yeah.
I think Randy and Kevin Owens and KO and Logan Paul put on a good match.
Yeah, man, it's going to be such an awesome Mania, man. I feel like it's going to give us a lot of moments to talk about for a really long time. And I don't know, man. If you listen to this podcast and we still have not convinced you to watch wrestling, I don't know what else we can do, man, because wrestling is really maybe better than it's ever been. And I know old heads are going to be like, how can you say this like PG era is better than the Attitude Era? It just is. It just is.
The thing is, we're getting out of the PG era. Like Rock, and I got to thank Rock for this. Ethan, I know this is going to be gospel to your ears right now.
Hey, Dylan, I'm waiting for an apology for the Rock joining the Bloodline storyline.
Actually, because I still have my problems. I'm not backing down.
But I love the way that they're
moving. And when Stone Cold comes out and we get that Stone Cold and Rock moment, you better sit down. I better not see you cheer. I better not see you smile. Nothing. Nothing
it happens. We'll talk. All right. Or else it's going to be a 5-hour podcast of me yelling at you. All right.
Yeah. Whatever.
Rock. I gotta give props to Rock and CM Punk and all of these guys for making the content a little edgier and, like they said on Raw this week, making wrestling cool again. It does feel like we're at like a renaissance for wrestling, where we've got stars that are coming back and we've got like just the perfect mix of things going.
It's good wrestling. It's good storytelling. It's stupid fun that you can like laugh and giggle at, but also like jaw-dropping moments that like you can enjoy as like from storytelling and also like athleticism. It really is it's a perfect mix. Again, if we haven't convinced you, please just listen to us this one time. Watch Mania both nights. And if you're not sold, then fuck you. You're a loser. Official words from AWR.
Wait, hold on. He's not the host.
Highest fucking brother endorsed this.
Wait.
Well, that was our WrestleMania 40 predictions. Let us know what we got correct, what we're missed on, because when this episode comes out, WrestleMania 4 would have already been happened. Stone Cold would have came out. Ethan would have been right. This would have been the greatest storyline ever.
It happened Raw after Mania too, bro.
They got Raw after Mania.
Hey,
but let us know in the.
Hey, yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think is going to happen at Mania, and next week, let us know what you want to hear us talk about next week. Because so far, we already know we're going to talk about this new J. Cole project because it just dropped. I can't wait to listen to it as soon as we're done recording here. And then we'll talk about Mania and all the backlash of everything that happened next week. But also let us know what you want to see us cover next week. Anything else, Ethan?
No, I think we got to do our favorite segment of the show to wrap it up.
That's
really
right.
Quickly.
We never do it to end the show.
No, but I feel like we tried something new. We got a very special guest today. So very special guest, Mr. Dylan Sutton. Can you get closer to the mic? You already know what we got to do.
Some ASMR, or are we feeling like full on like belting type shit?
Let's do something calm. End of the show, but I want to end it with a bang.
All right. Put you on.
That was good.
Yeah.
Some might say fantastic.
Hey,
some
slight.
Well, Dylan, after nailing that, buddy, you get to go first. What is your first suggestion? Do you want to go movies or music first?
Let's start with music, man. There's been a lot of really good stuff coming out. Well, obviously, a couple weeks ago we had the Metro album, but I feel like overshadowed that same night. Hozier dropped an EP, and Olivia dropped her deluxe album. Both really good, but also only a couple songs. I'll go with Ariana Grande's new album. No one's brought that up yet, right? Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I figured none of your guests are really tapped into that market. But
hey, you're helping us, though.
Yeah, yeah. So if there are any, I don't know what Ari fans call themselves, but whatever. If y'all are out there, just know I love this album. It was really great. I was a little concerned when I thought it was like going to be like sort of like house music. Not the biggest house fan, but she got into some really like great rhythms on this album. I don't think it's as good as her last album, Positions, but there's some really good highlights with Bye and We Can't Be Friends is just so beautiful. And the music video has Evan Peters, who's my boyfriend. He doesn't know it yet, but he's my boyfriend. And great album. Yeah, honestly, already one of my most listened to of the year. Definitely recommend it. Yeah, Ariana Grande doing what she always does, man. She's fantastic.
Ethan, do you
yeah, I know we didn't mention it a lot. Maybe next week we'll talk about it, the new Beyonce album. But my sleeper off the album, again, is it really a sleeper if it's a Beyonce song? Probably not. But I'm definitely going to go with probably 16 Carriages. I didn't listen to any of the singles leading up. And I know 16 Carriages were one of them. But that is genuinely one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. I think it's one of Beyonce's best songs. Fantastic. Very emotional song. 16 Carriages, Beyonce. That's my sleeper song of the week.
All right, cool. I'm going to throw in some Latin vibes this week. I'm kind of slowly getting onto him. It's kind of weird. You would think that I would be like on top of this because he's from like the same city of Mexico that I'm from. But I'm going with A Tu Manera by Junior H and Peso Pluma. Yeah. So if you know who Peso Pluma is, new Latin artist. He's like one of the biggest artists in the world right now. Where he's starting to come up in, here in the United States a little more too. But yeah, from my home state, Mexico, I'm starting to get onto his music a little more. If you've got more Peso Pluma suggestions, leave them in the comments.
My shit is ass. No ass, bro. I'm sorry.
Dylan does not like it, but I don't know. Like I said, for me, it wasn't hidden at first, but I'm starting to get it. So help me out. But Dylan, you want the next segment with movies?
Yeah. I spent most of I guess early March really trying to watch like all of the Oscar nominees, well, at least all the Best Pictures and everything, and it was such a great year for movies. Like honestly, I could recommend every single movie that was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars last year. But instead, I'm going to go for one that's going to be nominated next year already. Dune 2.
The most basic answer in the world.
Here's the thing, man. I watched Dune and Dune 2 in one day, just like a couple days ago. It took me obviously years to watch Dune. I have this like aversion to just fuck. I'm a contrarian. All right, fine. If
Finally, hold on, stop. Finally, he admits it, and I want an apology to me because you keep you keep pointing the shots directly at me. I ain't the only one that says it, but continue.
Bro, I'm only a contrarian with like certain things, and I can admit with like big box office movies, there's something about it that like I could be super excited about a movie, but then like it is huge in the box office, and I'm just like, I'll get around to it, you know. And that's sort of how I was with Dune, and I'm honestly like, I don't know, I want to say I'm mad at myself because like it took me so long to watch Dune, but actually getting to watch them like back to back might have made the experience even better. Both of them. I don't need to be the one to tell you that, but if you're like me and you were just sort of sitting around saying, I'll watch Dune eventually, or I'll watch Dune 2, like whenever it comes out onto a streaming service. No, if you can, please watch Dune and go watch Dune 2 while it's still in theaters. It really is a cinematic experience. I mean, it's something that like, we didn't really get to experience the Star Wars coming out,
we got Avatar though.
That's fair.
I think it's in that tier.
It really is. Like, it really is. See, that's another one. I haven't seen either of the Avatar movies. I know. We'll talk, man. Well, I'm a fake film, bro. I really am. But anyway, the point of the story is both of the Dune movies, really good. Maybe hot take, I actually prefer Dune 1 over Dune 2. But both great. I really recommend it. Basic ass take. Go watch it.
Hey, first thing with basic ass takes, let me give you a movie. It's called Horrible Bosses, and it came out in like 2015, but makes me laugh a lot. It's got Charlie Day, Jason Bateman, and
Jason Sudeikis.
Including Jennifer Aniston's in that movie too. It's got a crazy cast. It's very funny, kind of dramatic. I watched it with my 70-year-old aunt. She seemed to enjoy it. Yeah, she loved it. So Horrible Bosses. It's on Netflix.
Very
Check it
good.
out.
Very good movie.
Well, for me, for my last pick, I'm gonna go different route. I'm gonna go with the newest season of Love Is Blind. I've been watching it. Fantastic. I want you guys to watch it. I'm not the biggest reality TV show. Like I watch reality TV show if I get a good season or something. But the premise of Love Is Blind, if you haven't heard already, I think it's like 10 couples get into a room. They can't see each other, and for a couple days they just got to share feelings. They're constantly swapping pods and everything like that. After a couple days, they finally get to meet the person they're with. They can either say I do or I don't. They say I do. They go on a honeymoon, do all this stuff within it. They basically get married in a very short amount of time. You see some of the sickest people on the planet Earth. My guys, Jeremy and Clay, need to be in the sick motherfucker Hall of Fame. Sickest people alive. When you guys watch the show, you'll understand. But Love Is Blind is fantastic. The newest season. I'm like 3 episodes in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out because there was another show I heard about where like they all speak different languages and they like try to fall in love.
Oh, what was it called? It's the TLC one. It's 90 Day Fiance. 90 Day Fiance. That's the one.
There are a lot of weird shows like that. I'm sure there's one about like 3 people marriages. What's that called? Polygamy.
Throuple.
Yeah.
A throuple.
Yeah.
That sounds disgusting.
Well, actually, bringing it back to Harry, Niall, and Liam. Was it Liam or was it? Yeah, I think it was Harry, Niall, and Liam. And then that's why Zayn left One Direction, was because he felt left out of like the gangbangs.
I think we appealed to a lot of different audiences for this episode.
And y'all telling me I shouldn't be on the podcast.
Hey, listen, I don't know about you, but do you think Dylan got another invite?
I think he did. He smoked it this episode. Thank you, Dylan, for coming on. Thank you to our listeners on Spotify and Apple Music for listening to the podcast, as well as our watchers on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe and rate the podcast and let us know what y'all think. Like I said, next week, we're going to get to a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to get into J. Cole's response. If you want to hear us give a quicker take on J. Cole's response on his newest project, Might Delete Later, check us out on TikTok at AWR Podcast and on Instagram at Our Recording and on Twitter. But you already know who it is. The young Rottweiler, Mr. 5 for 5 of Pure Temptation, Pablo Freshkapar, E, the Blonde Bomber, Black Sage, pronouns, Sandwich Hands. Pronouns, that nigga, you guessed it. It's me, Ethan Hamilton. I got the coldest co-host in co-host history, 007, Mr. Gage Sutton. And I got our previous employee of Our Recording, Dylan Sutton. Now I'm playing with you. Dylan's the guy. But thank you guys for watching. It's been Our Recording.
Hey, peace.